Greetings, Patrick here. 8 questions with. Welcome to the show, boys and girls. Got off to a strong week yesterday as we welcome in our fellow YouTuber, film critic, all around awesome dude, Jim Tatros. Um, really enjoyed last night, and I can't wait to do it again. We talked about so many different aspects of film yesterday, and really had a great time. And thank you for everybody who showed up and supported the show. God, a lot of folks from Europe were up there hanging out with us last night. So um, Jeff from 10 in Boston was here. Ramon, I think it's this Dutch film, and a lot of other nice people were hanging out. So I'm a little bit bummed. I have to put this little bit of a disclaimer into this. So some of you. So I got a couple of comments, basically to watch our language on this channel. They thought the language was a little bit harsh and told me to tone it down. Well, as some of you guys already can guess, that didn't go too well with me. Um, for one thing, my show is never it's never scripted. I don't know what's going to be said and who's going to say it. All I know is as long as YouTube says I can say what I can say, I'm going to say it. And sometimes our language gets a little bit frosty on here. It does. Not every show. There's some shows where there's no cussing, there's no language. When you're talking with friends and people, peers, sometimes it can get a little bit sassy. And I'll be the first to admit it. And but it's the wrong thing to come here to my channel and tell me how I should dictate my channel and my content and my guests. If you have a problem with what I'm doing on my channel and how I'm doing it, there's the door. No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you. No one's forcing you here. You're here because you want to be here. If you don't, that's okay too. I respect that. But I do not respect anybody coming on here and telling you what I can and cannot say with who I say it with. Uh, so that won't be tolerated at all. No one's going to censor me, and nor would I go to anybody else's channel and tell them to censor them. I just wouldn't do that, even if I don't agree with what they say, because I too can hit the door. If I don't like what I'm seeing on somebody's channel, I don't have to be there. I can just disappear. So I just wanted to put that out there in case the person who was complaining about it sees it, knowing that um, I'm going to go ahead and let you know how I'm feeling. You're more than welcome to stay. You're more than welcome to enjoy the show. I know you have in the past, but if you don't want to, I have no. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But like I said, I will not tolerate anybody coming on here and telling me what I can and cannot say. That just don't float. All right. Now that I got that out of my craw, hey Anthony, how are you? And you went to a Knicks game. All right. I see God, the Son, Jesus Christ saves. All right. Hi from Maui. Hi, how are you? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. I'm sure Hawaii is absolutely beautiful at this time of year. I think it's still daylight over there, if I'm not mistaken. I think Hawaii's what? I think we're what 8 hours ahead of Hawaii. Oh man. Here in Michigan, it is cold. So our guest tonight will be here shortly when we talk to a couple of young, dynamic, and hard-driving filmmakers. We have Ian Kane, who is a director and a writer, an actor. He owns Dreamflight Entertainment. We'll also be talking to his executive producer, Matt Taff. He will be here too. And we will be talking about their new film, Emergence 2028, and which stars a couple of old friends of ours. One who's been on the show before, actually, two. As Emergence 2028 is also co-directed by Paris Dillon. He's been on the show a couple of times. And also we had Bai Ling on the show as well. So it was very cool to see that Ian and Matt had acquired cool talent like that. And Eric Roberts is also in their film as well. So that's always a good thing, right? You got Eric Roberts on your movie. Um, he really is a young director's dream. He really truly is. He's got such a veteran presence and professionalism that so many young directors can come in here and watch how things should be done. Watch a consummate pro work. I do believe this will be Ian Kane's first feature film that he has co-directed or directed. Yes, yeah, I think they have a lot going for them too, Mr. Dan. And they're driven. They are ambitious, they are driven, and that I like that. I like that a lot. It's always cool to run into talent like that. I got Ian and Matt. Um, we got them indirectly through our other friend, Spider Drabowski. And Spider said, "Hey, you should go talk to Patrick. He's a cool dude." And so I got Matt got a hold of me, and I gotta admit, the boys put me through. The boys put me through some paces. They were very aware of how they wanted their names placed and what they want how and Matt was he's he is an executive producer. He could tell he's a producer. And he says, well, if we could have Ian's name first, and then we can have Eric Roberts' name behind before Bai Ling's. And it's like it's just I really admire the detail. Because yes, believe it or not, in Hollywood, they have what they call a call list or a call sheet, and that is basically it tells you how people are or they're placed at in the credits. Like when you watch your movie, and you'll see the biggest name first, and then it goes that way. Sometimes they'll have and the same thing with the cast and crew, depending on the importance of it. At the end of the movie, when they roll credits, they'll roll. Sometimes they'll roll sometimes they'll do it differently. Sometimes they can, but they have to get permission before they do this. Um, Sometimes they can do an alphabetical order for a call list. They can do alphabetical order, though mostly it's done by rank of star. The bigger the name are, the biggest recognition, the recognize your name is, the more your name is, featured. Like in this movie, it could be everybody, and then at the very end, it could say, "And Eric Roberts asked Mr. Jones," right? So because they're putting emphasis on his performance in this film. So it does happen that way. Um, so they wanted to make sure that that got all taken care of. And I appreciate that. I do. How I do it here on Eight Questions with is the point person I talk to gets first listing. The person I talk to about putting together the show, if I do a panel show or what have you, they will always get the first posting, even if they're not the biggest star, but they are the one that I'm dealing with, the one I'm talking to, the one I'm setting up the interview with. That's important to me. As much as I love Eric Roberts is not talking to me about putting together the show. He's not telling me, he's not here to speak for himself. I talk to Matt. So Matt is my point guy. He's the guy I'm going to say, "Hey Matt, what do we need about this? Do you need anything else?" He's my guy. He's my contact. And so that's how I do it here. Now, that's just me. How other interviewers do it, I don't really know. I don't know if they do a call list where they'll mention the biggest name and go on down. But for this show, whenever I do, especially when I do more than one person, I will use the first person I talk to. So I have no problem doing that. Um, which is why you'll see half of mine, but half of mine is is Ian. Ian got posted, out of respect. And then I just want to know that. I just wanted Matt to know that if Ian's not in front of everything, it's because I also have respect for Tom and what Matt and what Matt is doing. Tom, Matt, and Tom and Ian. God, I'm just glad it wasn't Jerry. So I tell Matt that, hey, you know what? Because I'm all about even. I honestly, I don't see levels of stars. I see peers. That's how I see it. I see peers. I mean, Matt's got a impressive resume himself. He's no slouch. Let me tell you. He's worked on a show called The Bay, and which I can't wait to sink my teeth into that, because that show, I remember that show coming on there, and that was an interesting show, interesting program, and it featured a lot of well-known soap opera people, and Matt worked on the show and worked on the producer for 37 episodes. It's impressive to me. But then again, working with Bai Ling and Eric Roberts is no slouch either, right? All right, the doorbell has rang. I'm not sure who's going to come in first. We'll take it as they come, and then we'll get this party started. Ta-da!
Oh.
Welcome to the Bay.
Hey, hey, Patrick. Nice to see you. Nice to see you on here. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Good. You're gonna have fun today. We're gonna put you and Ian through your paces. That's for sure.
Okay. Can't wait.
Emergence 2028 sounds like an absolute hoot. I think you had me at Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe you had me at Bai Ling, but you also had me at Cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be a new Cyberpunk thing that needs to be a new Cyberpunk franchise feature film series.
Now, are you a big Cyberpunk fan? I mean, you know who William Gibson is, right?
Yeah. He started it. He definitely started Cyberpunk. I'm not I'm more into the films and such. Yeah. So I was just talking to Ian on text. Sorry, let me just, because I know he wants to talk about his how he started.
Oh, we're gonna get you both.
Oh no, I just don't want. I don't want to talk too much about the. I don't want to talk too much about the creation until.
Oh no, we until we get here, I'm more than happy to talk about the Bay.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about the Bay and stuff. Let's talk about that more. Yeah.
Oh, because I saw that and I'm going like, man, it's just doing. I'm gonna have to tell everybody my secret, and that is, man, I was a big General Hospital fan.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, and also Days of Our Lives. I remember Mary Beth Evans. I think that her character was hooked up with Stephen Nichols' Patch on Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
But the badass, which really frustrated me, and maybe we could talk about this real quick because it always confuses me. It's like there's actually soap opera. People used to me too. Okay, until I got older and got to know the business a little bit better. People always said, soap opera. It's like a death now.
Well, the creators, Gregory Christos. Well, more so Christos. But they don't really consider it so much a soap opera as is a crime drama.
Right. But I'm talking about actors, and I'm actors in general when they get cast on a soap opera. What are you doing? I'm on a soap opera. For some reason, some people immediately think that the level of acting on soap operas is not the same as anywhere else. And I could tell you, I think soap opera acting is so damn hard.
Yeah,
I think it's hard. I think it's incredibly hard. It's almost the same to me. I think it's even harder than live theater.
Okay.
I do. I think it's probably, it might be the hardest type of acting. I mean, especially the longer you stay. The longer you stay. I mean, if you're an actor and you come in there and you sign a contract and you're going like, I'm gonna do 100 shows in 6 months and move on. Okay, but when you get someone like a Susan Lucci or a Tristan Rogers or Mary Beth Evans
Yeah.
that come in there and they do the same character for years and years and years, and they recycle a lot of the same plots. They get, it's the same. It's like, how many times can someone get married? How many times can you get psyched up for somebody else's marriage? How many times, and maintain the level of professionalism, skill set? It's hard.
Yeah.
How many? I mean,
people love that. Like on the Bay, Mary Beth Evans has been married a few times. So yeah, and the show's only 9 seasons long. So she's already been married a few times. So yeah, it's funny. Yeah, honestly, when I started the Bay, well, I'm an editor on the Bay, and I was an editor on the Bay, and then I got the post producer for the Bay. Hey, Ian, what's up? We're just talking a little bit about the Bay before you got on.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character in the Bay, Ian?
Oh, I don't watch the Bay.
Yeah. He's actually just really watch the Bay.
I don't watch any TV really.
He doesn't watch any TV.
I don't really have time to watch TV, and I don't.
Yeah. I don't really watch TV either. I'm mostly I don't have cable. I don't have streaming. I have Tubi, which is free, and I have about 3,000. I have about 3,000 movies in my collection.
Well, I mean, when I was working really nonstop at the Bay, like a lot, I barely had time to watch any TV. It would always bug me. I'm like, and the executive producers there barely watch TV either when we were working. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, when you're in it, you can barely watch TV.
Yeah, film's where it's at.
Yeah, and now film.
But hey, if they have some kind of TV deal for Emergence, as a matter of fact, I started Emergence as a TV series originally, and because I had my SAG contract was for micro episodic, because I thought, I can just do this episodically. So we filmed it episodically actually, and then a few people suggested that we turn it into a film, since films are easier to sell. So it's kind of heading towards a film, but if somebody comes knocking that wants to turn it into a TV series, I'm open to that too.
You're right. I mean, you're right about that. It is harder to make. It's easier to make a film than a series. It's amazing how honestly, I look at some of the TV shows that we have, and I'll be honest with you, some of them look dead on. They fit more like a miniseries or maybe a movie itself. But some of these TV series that get we're going to go ahead and pick it up, and you look at them, you're going like, man, how much can you get out of that? It's like, like to me, it's like, man, you got to think at least you have to plan for 5 seasons, right? You have to plan for about 5 seasons for it to be profitable. And coming up there, and I remember a couple of years ago they did a 10-episode season of Watchmen, and at the end of it, the person they said, well, okay, we're going to go ahead and pick it up for the second season, and the creator of the series says, I don't have any more stories to tell you.
Yeah, I find that that's just to build upon what you're saying is that a lot of these series, not only the series but films as well, seem to like, as far as the TV series, they tend to kind of run out of ideas, it seems, and then they just kind of regurgitate stuff or just not make a bunch of nonsensical stuff. Or as far as movies, like after the first and maybe the second act, the writers don't really know how to wrap things up, so it just fizzles after that. That's what I find a lot too. And other critics mentioned that too. Like, it's just like, what happened? You really grit me from the beginning.
we were talking about that yesterday. We were talking about on the show yesterday. We're talking about the Friday the 13th franchise.
Oh yeah.
And, and you know, the first 4 Friday the 13th movies were, you know, it was at the end of the 4th one, Jason's done. You know, he's gone. Okay, so now what do? We still want to use the franchise, but we just killed off our main character. So now what do? Now we have to come back and try to bring him back. And
maybe we'll have a cyberpunk. We'll have an Emergence 2030. We'll have Jason Voorhees in a cyberpunk version.
Like yeah, yeah, I like that. No, I love. I mean, I love Jason. I mean, Ian likes horror. I super like slashers and stuff. Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Jason X was totally cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, well there. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, it was. It was pretty bad though. Sci-fi though, wasn't it? It was kind of like far in the future.
Yeah, that was super far out. Yeah.
Cyberpunk is usually more near future. This is kind of like I'm kind of making my own genre here because it's kind of like weird fiction, but just for people, because I used to read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and H.P. Lovecraft and stuff when I was a kid. And so weird fiction, that was weird fiction. And so it was kind of amalgam of fantasy, you know, suspense, horror, adventure. It was kind of like it had everything. And before everything was kind of cut down into these cute little boxes like horror and everything like that. It was just all together weird fiction. And so I always thought of this as weird fiction, but a lot of people don't know what weird fiction is, so I just say cyberpunk. Just that's for a frame of reference.
There's another film director out there named Joe Lujan who's done the same thing. He's done he created his world, and it's based. I think it's half of it's based on cyberpunk, and I think what I really liked about it, and what I was really excited about for Emergence 2028, is the fact that cyberpunk was something that a lot of independents stayed away from. They stayed away from because they felt like they really couldn't bring the party to, you know, like, man, you're gonna need a bigger budget than.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about.
But now
we're doing something about
it. You know, thanks to film directors like Joe and yourself and some others out there who aren't afraid to go out there and say, you know what, maybe I don't have the big Batman budget, you know, but I still got 100,000, I still got $1 million, I still got $1.5 million. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance and believe in this and put out a cyberpunk adventure. And more often than not, it works. It does work. You know, you could do, you know, I think really what helps out too, you know, with the technology has caught up with the ideas. Now technology has merged with you know, with your idea. Now you're able to realize your dream. You know, you can realize your goal, your dream, Ian, in creating Emergence.
That's really
I don't
funny.
know. I mean, do you think you could have made this? I mean, just to point that out a little bit more. Yeah. Do you feel you could have made your movie 10 years ago?
Probably not. And you know, and just to your point, we had this preview thing at back in August. We had Bai Ling came down, and all our celebrities came down. Eric Roberts and his beautiful wife came down with Isaac came down. So we had a nice time and everything, and we had a Q&A after the preview. And someone was asking like, oh, how did you, you know, do this? I said, well, it's kind of based on my my science fiction book series called Fading Empires, which is on Amazon right now, Fading Empires. And that's more in the future. And that's in 2083, where there's, you know, flying vehicles and all this other stuff, a lot of stuff that I wouldn't be able to, even now, I wouldn't be able to fully envision. I wouldn't be able to bring that vision to the screen unless it looked totally tacky, you know, like, so I switched it to more of like, this is kind of almost like the forerunner to Fading Empires. And I put it in an alternate 2028 so that things aren't totally, dissimilar. In other words, the technology is still kind of similar to this, and also this is retrofuturism, so it's kind of like it's kind of like 1990s, along with future tech. So I call it pixel punk. That's the genre I'm creating.
Pixel punk.
So, yeah, it's kind of like, it's almost like the beginnings of cyberpunk. Before cyberpunk, it was like the forerunner to it, kind of. So it's like 1990. You'll see a lot of 90s technology. When you watch the film, you'll see a lot of 90s stuff, like analog phones and stuff, alongside cell phones and stuff like that. It's kind of like a dog eat dog world where people, by hook or by crook, either legitimately or not, get their hands on any technology they can.
Right.
So yeah, it's retrofuturism. But yeah, I couldn't. Just adding to your point, there was no way I can do this. The world that I write about in Fading Empires. So I just put this in an alternate 2028. So you can still see the cars that you have around today in the background. It's not like
that's all right though. There's been plenty of. I mean, I think that's a really nice touch. I'm actually trying, and in my brain, I'm actually trying right now to bring up probably the first cyberpunk movie I ever saw, and I dare say it would be back in the 60s.
Okay.
It would probably be, honestly, and probably surprise some people, but this is how I.
Soylent Green?
No, though that's a great one. That came out in '73. I think the one that as far as cyberpunk goes, is Barbarella.
Oh, I never saw that.
I've seen that. Yeah, Barbarella. Yeah. That's like a fantasy one.
What do you think? What do you think, Matt? I mean, the technology.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't really remember much, but Jane Fonda's in that, right? Jane Fonda. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you go back there and watch that, there's a lot of that.
I see parts. I don't know if it's an old movie. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like visually, it's a trippy movie. It's visually some really cool stuff. Yeah. Well, visuals is a really important part of Emergence. Also, we should point out. Ian, you want to talk about the visuals?
Oh no, go for it, man.
Let me catch up with my chat first, on because
sure. Go ahead.
And they probably got some questions already for you.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go back up here, and Snow is here. Hi, Snow. Mr. Dan and Hor is here. God the Son, Jesus Christ is here. It's good to see God here in the chat. I appreciate that. Snow Leopard is here. Hi, Snow. And Stacy is here. Says yes, thank you. Yeah, you know what? That's a great show yesterday, Stacy. You'll really like it. And Stacy also mentions best of luck with his your filmmaking, and all these projects sound intriguing, and glad he's so passionate about making good stories. Yeah, I just got done saying that to somebody, how I really, really like you guys. You guys are really focused and driven, and I really, you could really feel the passion in what you're doing. You could radiate, and it's good. It's good to see. It's good to see.
I appreciate that. It takes a lot of, we're making a documentary as well. I guess we haven't even talked about this yet, Matt, right? But we're making a documentary, like we're combining a lot of behind the scenes footage and stuff like that for this documentary called Underdogs, and it's about the impetus really behind this project was kind of germinated back in 2.5 years ago. And Matt and I wrote a script, and then Matt really read it and believed in it.
Yeah.
For Emergence 2028, and it was kind of like we didn't even pause, like we didn't even question, like, can we do this? We just had this passion that we wanted to do it, and we didn't really think about any obstacles or anything. We have that kind of boundless kind of creativity and passion, so it doesn't even factor in. And so when we started just going for it, we met a lot of naysayers and obstacles, but it just doesn't faze us, because we kind of have this. I also have it because I'm come from a military background, so I kind of have a do or die attitude. Like, I'll just go all out if I focus on something. And then Matt is the same way, kind of in a different way, but so we really complement each other. And so the point of this is that, not to say, oh, look at how great we are. It's the point of this. We want to make this documentary because we want to show people that anyone can do it. You can just, as long as you you focus on something you're really passionate about, and you plan things out, and the doors will open. But as long as you're consistent, you keep going at it. You might fade back a little bit and retreat, recharge, but then you got to drive back in and go for it again. Then the doors are eventually going to open, because
that's exactly the word I used. It's the word I used. It was the word I used. I used the word driven, because I felt like, and it's like, it's very, it's, I like it. I do. I mean, some folks, they not very much here. I got to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever had anybody here on Eight Questions With that hasn't been driven. Quite honestly, there's been, which is something I look for in a guest. I look for that. I look for that passion and that drive. Without that, it's a really sort of it's a really quiet show, and I don't like that. No, I like what I'm hearing here, and I totally get it. Let's see. Ellen Clifford has just walked through the door, and she says she's been working with these two for a couple of years now. They have vision. So I was going to ask you, how did you two meet?
I just want to say real quick, Ellen Clifford is in our movie. Is in Ian's movie? This movie as a Leanne. So hey, Ellen, what's up?
Yeah, Ellen plays an artistic woman who's the girlfriend of one of the main male character leads, and she's one of those characters that she's kind of rough around the edges, but then she's a really smart and good-hearted person, who's just kind of had some tough breaks, been involved in some drugs and stuff. So, but it just shows that, I like drawing these kind of multidimensional characters when I can, unless they're just supposed to be, monodimensional. But if I like characters that are conflicted or just, multidimensional. There's something else about them that you have to kind of look differently at sometimes. And I think that reflects real life. But yeah, Matt and I met back in 2014, and I had just shot this short horror film, actually. And I was on Craigslist, right? We've all been on Craigslist. And I was looking for...
Craigslist has made his appearance on,
kind of like a horror story in itself. But so I was looking for an editor, because I was like, okay, I have a film. What do I do? I don't know anybody here in LA, because I just got out of the military and was overseas doing some security work and stuff. So I was doing a documentary before that, but when I really started going for narrative stuff, I wanted to make stuff. I wanted an editor. So I got Matt, and Matt was the only guy who was reliable.
Oh God! Yeah, welcome to the world of the indies.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people.
It can be tough.
Well, if I could just say something, this is really my first job right out of editing school. Like, I just got out of editing school. I'd done some other stuff in the industry a little bit, like transcribing footage stuff. But this is went back to school to learn editing at Video Symphony. God bless them, they went out of business a few years ago. But it was a great school, actually. And then right when I got out of there, I saw Ian's ad and I applied. And he had some huge files, some red files, and a lot of people, I think, computers couldn't handle it. And I just did it without transcoding. I just was able to do whatever we wanted. I did a good job.
Great, yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, we kind of separated. I mean, we didn't. I don't mean separating as in like we're all in touch, but we weren't focused on film for a while together until a few years ago. We were gonna do this horror franchise. That's on the back burner now. But then when we saw the potential for this, this being a franchise, not just one-off type of thing. That's when we started, and people started responding to it, that they love the script. That's when we said, okay, we better focus on this.
Yeah, because we had actually we have I think we have somebody, Kelly Ryder was in the short horror film we did.
Okay, I know Kelly.
You see, she's blown up. She was in her.
Yes. Yeah, she popped.
I mean, not Visitor. She was in not the Candlewick. That was the second one.
Actually, I believe I'm trying to remember where I found.
I think it was just an add-on. I think you picked her out of like 100 people on online audition. So
I think it was Actors Access, something like that. And then but it was a lot of people applied, and I liked her reel the best, and she turned out to be really easy to work with, and real charming, smart girl.
Yeah, she's got skills.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I guess the cool thing about you guys is that when you went into this, you really didn't know anything. I mean, in a sense, like,
right.
You didn't really know anything. You didn't know that you could fail. Like,
That's the best way to do it.
You know what I'm saying? You're saying, like, I don't know what that means because I haven't done it yet. Because most people would tell you, especially on the independent level, try to get a franchise off the floor. Hell, it's hard getting the first movie off the floor. And then, then you need the little sequel part and go like, wow, okay. He's like, I'm going to refer to him a lot because you guys have similar backgrounds, but the same thing with Joe Lujan. He also started out with he started out with a book. He started out with a comic book, and then he started world building. And then pretty soon that's when he started. He started making films out. I mean, even films that didn't connect at first, like he did a movie called Rust. It didn't connect in his world, in his initial world at first, but then he made it happen. He started. He's got this massive filmography of that world. And so, but no one told him that either. No one told him, like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. How am I not supposed to be able to do something if I haven't done it yet? Or failed it yet?
There's also, I think, there are a lot of folks out there, bless their hearts, but they've been scarred by stuff, or something didn't happen for them, and whether consciously or not, they tend to be naysayers and limit themselves based on their experiences. Even unconsciously, some people mean well, and then they just had kind of bad experiences. But just like you said, we don't really, that doesn't really register with us because there's no quit, and it's just going to keep going until it becomes real. It's just, that's the way I don't care if I have to do, because I'm making a comic book right now, actually. I just hired an artist a couple weeks ago, so that's building now. Matt and I have also been comic book geeks, so we're building that, and then
your world building. You're doing exactly what a franchise. For a franchise, your world building. You're building a layer, so there's more than just one. Yeah, smart.
I have because Matt, I've told Matt, Matt pretty much knows how creative I am, but he never really saw the world building that I do. And then I was like, Matt, can you make a doc file? That. So I'm gonna put some stuff in there. So I dumped this like 80-page thing of this whole background behind the world of Emergence. So I have the technology, the economy, black market, all these different factions, the mega firms, the gangs, the syndicates, all in this document. So that's how I like to build stuff, because I used to play role-playing games when I was a kid, and I would be the game master or the dungeon master. So I'd always build the worlds in depth. So that's what I do with any kind of film I'm involved with. Same thing.
Yeah, I guess that would help out in the background to try to do something like a cyberpunk adventure, is to have that background in role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering, or maybe even card play. Like
Like Ian's somebody. It's not just somebody random saying, "I'm going to build a franchise." I mean, Ian, like you talk to Ian, he actually knows how to know his characters and world and everything, and he can build it.
Did you draw these characters?
Did
you draw your characters, Ian, from your time in the military, or are any of these characters, composite of people that you know, or they're people that you do know? You just slapped on a different name on them.
That's a good question. Probably some of the more military characters I've drawn inspiration from real life people. Some not. Some are just totally fabricated. But a lot of the stuff comes from a military background. And then before that, just like being a skinny, I was like a skinny geek. Like I was really scrawny, tall, beanpole kid playing role playing games. So it's totally opposite. I'm still like an inner geek. I call myself an inner geek with a manly outer coating.
Right.
But yeah, so I take some of the characters that from back then too, like some of the more geeky characters and stuff. I think a lot of people do that, right? They draw from their past experiences. A lot of filmmakers. But yeah, so to answer your question succinctly, is a lot of the military stuff is, and even a lot of the maneuvering and stuff like that. Since I've done that stuff, like clearing rooms and stuff, I've taught to the military themed characters who haven't, they don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So it was a pleasure teaching them how to do this kind of stuff, on set.
And then also I think sometimes we'll like cast somebody, and then Ian will be like, "Oh, we have a part for you," and then he'll come up with a part based a little bit on the characteristics, maybe.
Oh, right,
yeah. He's really good at kind of come up with a part.
Yeah, even like Elle. Yeah, like Elle. She's a sensitive girl, I can tell, creative. So and then she kind of dresses in this cool kind of gothy style. So I was like, wow, I want to make a character kind of similar to her real, who she is. But I want to challenge her too and give her a different personality kind of aspects. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, or that's for sure. Yes, definitely.
I'm going to go ahead and drop back to the chat because we have our very good friend Spider Dobowski has just walked in through the door.
Nice.
Oh, we know Spider.
Yeah, man, we all love Spider. He is hard at work right now on The Weeping, which is on the edge of my seat already, and it's very exciting. And he's very much he's very he's very much like you in the sense that he's carving his name out there. I think The Weeping is going to break him. I definitely think it'll break him. I think he'll pop after The Weeping, and can't wait to see it and have that excitement. That's what's really cool about young filmmakers such as you three is like you can feel the excitement coming up. There's no jadedness. There's no cynicism. There's no wow. I couldn't get past the door to make my pitch. There's none of that. You guys are just doing what you need to do by hook or by crook. And I just think, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Spider. Thank you for dropping by, my brother. And we'll talk soon. And Spider will be back here along with the lovely Alexis Knapp and a special guest to be named, which I'm super pumped about. So this is your first feature film as well, right? I mean, Ian, you had done some short films, and you got used to yourself around the camera. You got used to, and now you're doing this feature film
that I created, and I've done some stuff that's not on IMDb, but this is the first. I have a documentary about people coming to Hollywood called Hollywood Reality. I was working on in 2010 to 2012, and I still have all that footage, like hundreds of hours, but I haven't put it together. Maybe later on. But this is like the first big thing where it's like definitely a franchise type of thing that has mass appeal. It could be cultish in a way, because you know how like Terminator, RoboCop, the first movie in these series were more kind of almost niche or something. Because like, what's
The
the
origin
weird
stories.
story about these robots going back in time and stuff? You know, James Cameron writing this script when he's in between, when he's on the truck at truck stops and stuff. And it just seems so far-fetched. And then look how the second movie, once that one had a cult following, look at T2, like this blew up.
Yeah.
Same thing with all these different franchises, so that's kind of the mold that we're following, if there is one. It's just, you get that you're passionate about your first project, you get it out there, you get people behind it, and then later on you develop it into a more with a budget that aligns more fully with your vision.
Now, I want to ask Matt this question that he's here, because this is, before he got here, Ian, we're talking about the Bay, and I used to, we were talking about how soap opera acting is probably the hardest type of acting there is. It really is, in my opinion. It's hard to play the same character, for years and years and years, and basically you gotta know sooner than later. You're sitting in the makeup chair and you're going like, God damn, I just did this last year. I didn't so and so kill somebody last year too? And you start repeating the storyline, and it'd be so easy just like, yeah, I'm here, but they have to act like this is the freshest thing that they've seen. And so my question to you, Matt, is, to me, it's like it would be a simple thing, but maybe you have a different idea. When you cast your movie, when you came out there and you guys started talking about your casting, did you ever think about casting actors such as soap opera actors and in your mainstream film?
We actually have a soap opera actor or two in our film. Actually, we have Anthony Preston, who's been in Days of Our Lives, and we have a couple of things. We have him. We start out. We did get a couple actors and some crew from people I know. Of course, I worked on the base. I know people from that avenue. So yeah, we got a couple people that were around there, like Anthony. Paris Dillon is a producer on the Bay, and I know he's been on this show, and he acts in our film too.
Yeah,
he's been on some soap type of things. I think it's probably somebody else on our show that's been on a soap thing. So yeah, and I do think. I mean, I'm thinking being an editor on the Bay, and I know the acting and stuff, and he knows acting too, of course, and. There's great acting. People say Anthony's one of the best actors on the movie so far, honestly. So they definitely and they can memorize. They can memorize a lot.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, they really do. Anthony has some of the biggest dialogue in the movie, and it's good because he memorizes it. He memorizes it a lot.
Remember what you and I were saying how you and I were saying how it was even more so challenging than a play, because I mean. You read behind the scenes of some of these soap operas. They'll sit there and tell you that they go through 30, 35, 40 pages a day. That's insane. Yeah. People have no idea, but it's insane. And to me, I've always wondered, like, to me, it's like, it's an untapped resource. Like, man, it's an untapped resource to reach out there and grab some of these folks to come on and do some of these independent films. Yeah. I wonder how many. I wonder if they even get asked.
So no, they fit the role and they fit the role, So
yeah.
When you went to cast Emergence 2028, how did you guys? I mean, other than let me ask this question, Ian. Did you storyboard your movie?
No, the thing is, I usually do. But because I'm an artist as well, I used to draw comic books. But I haven't with Emergence. I just kind of wanted it to be more freeform, and I knew I was working with a lot more people because we have, when we were shooting in last February in the Arts District, we had about 80 people on the set, and so that was the largest crew. I mean, it was cast and crew and extras and stuff, but the crew was pretty large. It's the largest crew I've worked with, and so I'm really a collaborator. And so, for instance, I just like getting other people's input and perspectives on certain things. So I wanted to be a little more free flow, and I felt like maybe a storyboard might have been a little more inhibitive, if anything. That's all. So it's worked out so far. It's worked out.
He did it. He did do great storyboards for The Visitor, the first short film. So I can attest. He does do them. Yeah.
And that
now, are you in post yet with Emergence? Is that in post now, or are you still shooting?
That's a Matt question.
Well, if you want to be technical, okay. We should probably talk about our interesting way how we've done the film. So because of the budget and limitations, and we're real independent, we've shot 2/3 of the movie so far over about 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what? Almost done.
You won't see me laughing at that. I've seen filmmakers take up to 5 years to get their project.
Okay. So because of that, so we have like a 45-minute cut done, but we're gonna film the last part in sometime about May. So then it'll be done.
Yeah, mid-May we'll be finishing. That'll be our final Act 3 shoot, and it's gonna be out of control. Like what's interesting and what speaks to how small the film industry is how Matt and I kind of just started with hardly anything, and then we had a few contacts here and there. We started calling people and seeing if they're interested, and then this kind of we started attracting like-minded people just somehow over the past few years, and then people started helping out here and there, and it's just kind of grown to where now everyone kind of knows what's going on, and they want it to succeed just like us. So it's really a great thing.
I think after a while it comes just I think it probably just becomes just a matter of pride. It's like, we got 2/3 of the movie made. I want to get the last third in. I just want it to go. I don't want to be one of those projects that gets this far and then drops off the cliff. I'm gonna make it. I want to make this. Have you guys turned to crowdsourcing to help finish out the budget?
We had done crowdsourcing. Matt and I kind of touched on that before, and it wasn't. We didn't market it right at all, so that just flopped. It was like a year and a half ago or something. Yeah. But now we know. Indiegogo. Someone from Indiegogo reached out to us and said, "Wow, we found your film and thought it was really cool." And they went through the trouble of looking us up somewhere, like I guess on one of the socials, and knew all about the plot and everything. And so you might do another one, but we'll probably do it on the comic book instead of the film, right, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the film's almost done now. We just want to get it done at this point. I mean, look, we're in talks with people to give us like $100,000 for the film, but there'd be a lot of things that came with it,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Everyone. I will give you 100. I'll give you $100,000, but here's the catch, right?
No, really. Yeah, to be straight up. Yeah. So that's the thing. This is Ian's vision totally, and there's just too many changes that they want.
How do you stop people from doing that? I mean, you're an executive producer. You know what their job is. Their job is to give you the $100,000, but also to put their fingers into the pie, because you've done that yourself as an executive producer. How do you stop that? How do you go from being the guy asking for the here's the money, to being the guy going like, thank you for your money, but this is all you're getting out of it? Is that a hard line to walk?
I think that probably because I've been the victim of people trying to steal 3 of my IPs before, and in the past like 11, 12 years, 2 film and 1 literary. And so I know what it's like to get something I created for someone to attempt to rip it off. That's a real thing. And it's scary. So when I have the choice of whether to hand part of my vision or something over that I created to someone else, especially for money, and Matt brought this up actually a while back, and he said, yeah, we can get lots of money or whatever, but then they might try to change, totally warp your vision and stuff. And, yeah, Matt brought that up like
the recasting, especially.
Right.
The one recast. A lot of them recast even the top people in the movie. So it's kind of like it's a totally different movie.
Yeah,
maybe. And you definitely. I now when you casted Eric and Bai into the movie, didn't that make raising money that much easier because you have two bankable stars in your film, or did it matter?
Yeah, I mean, we did get contact. I mean, look, we got contacted by a couple of studios actually in the past 6 months. So that definitely has had an impact on its viability. But it still goes back to the same thing. Kind of like we've already almost finished this movie. If we get finishing funds, and they're going to want to maybe change the way it plays out. And I don't want to sacrifice the vision for money, because what if somebody takes this and then totally changes the whole vibe of it, the whole everything about it? Then it's I've done all of it.
You're right. I mean, damn well if somebody walks up there and says, I'll give you $200,000 to help finish out your movie. Damn well that one of the things they're going to be trying to do is get creative control. Editing control, editorial, editing control, script control. They're going to sit there, and that sucks.
A couple of people just told us. Well, they kind of remember, Matt. We've had some Zooms with some people. We
had somebody. Well, I don't want to say super specific, but someone literally told us someone from the Terminator franchise he could get he could get in the movie as one of the actors. He said maybe we could put him in, and we're kind of like we didn't really like that guy. So, but it was just like that. That was an example. But I mean, it's more complicated than just someone giving you the rest of the money. Usually, what they want to do is wait till the movie's done anyway. And anyway, but the vision's almost already done, and we love having this turnout. So,
well, I have a question for you because I know we found this out that you're also an editor, Matt. Will you be editing the movie?
Well, so far I've been co-editing the movie because I don't want to be just editing the movie. I want to get different flavor into. So it's been me co-editing, and also Adam Jones he's done some music videos and stuff, and he's been doing some of the cuts. We might get a third co-editor on the last part.
And how was actually co-directing? You co-directed with Paris. How was that? I mean, Paris is he's a really good director.
I'm the main director, and then we took Paris on to because we wanted to get Eric. That was kind of the deal. Eric Roberts, he's friends with Eric Roberts, and so but hey, that's great. We Paris directed the first 17 minutes.
Yeah, and also because Ian was on also to help because Ian's on screen too. So that was a big thing.
I play one of his characters, so it was helpful to have Paris there because it was easier for me not to have to direct and act. Paris has acted and directed a lot of times already in the same movie, so it was like a relief for me. And it was great because he already has a rapport with Eric, and so directing Eric was seamless. So it was a real help. Paris is also
he's good,
a great actor as well. He plays one of the main characters. I'd say Anthony and Paris are really strong actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me bounce back to the chat here. A lot of people have been coming in. This is a lot of fun. Our good friend Jamie Hart is here. and always always in the room. Glad you're here, Jamie. Close C, liking the cyber world created. Great filmmakers, glad to know them. So there's a surprise song from the cast or crew. That's awesome. I appreciate the support. Let's see. Let's see. What else is there? Let me scroll down here. Scroll down. Let's see.
Can we launch our comic on your show? Maybe we can launch our comic on your show. Maybe we can come and launch.
Well, yeah, we have an announcement or two to make, or maybe a comic. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you're done, we'll talk to you about a couple things.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Dan and Horror is here, and he says, not a soap fan myself, but great actors like Eric Braeden did soaps. Hell yeah. Who doesn't like Eric Braeden? Eric Braeden did the Rat Patrol, and then he went on to become a major soap opera star. Still doing it. Still doing it opposite the same actress. I think they've been together on the screen for I want to say damn near 40 years. The Brave and the Bold and the Beautiful. I think
Beautiful. Yeah.
Amazing. Let's see. Mark Singer was got this soap. Yeah, so many great actors have cut their teeth in soap operas. So many have cut their teeth, and I think that there's a reason why. And we talked about it. It's very hard to do, and you know that if you can survive the rigors of doing a soap, you can handle just about anything.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting seeing how throughout like the golden age of Hollywood, right? You saw a lot of actors that were really big in film for a while, and then they kind of segued over into TV. I mean, countless actors and actresses. They kind of just because that was a steady way to make money, and maybe their star power is starting to wane or something, and then they go into kind of like TV land, you know. And TV also was becoming big in the 60s mainly, I think.
Right. TV was looked at as like a little brother, you know, was a big star wouldn't want to do TV because it would seem to be that they were, like you said, on the wane. Yeah. Which is, you know, was one of the reasons why John Wayne didn't do Gunsmoke. He didn't want to do it because he said, well, if I do that, then you know I'm gonna be a lesser star on the big screen. And it turned out to be quite the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
One of my favorites, John Wayne.
To be clear, though, this is all action. This isn't soap though. This is even though I was working on this, so this is action thriller. So
yeah, I'm so excited. I was excited about that.
No melodrama.
I do have one question for you.
I set Matt on the set. That's a different story.
I do act a little there too. So yeah.
No, I'm saying behind the scenes we got melodrama with Matt, but that's about it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I definitely want to know this from Matt. Did the Bay get because I know soap operas don't, but did the Bay, since it's a detective story, did it get a home release? Did it get released on DVD?
Yeah, you know what? I love home media too. You know, he never did that. I asked the EP. I said he should do it, and I think they might have done a promo at one point at a party, but they never put it out on a home video. But yeah, he should. Yeah.
Yeah, bring that up as far as distribution. That's one thing that we're open-ended about with Emergence. You know, because we have many different avenues we can go with as far as theatrical releases and
we would love to.
That's an interesting, such an interesting world now with all the options that filmmakers have at their disposal for getting their project out there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the story. We should talk a little bit about the story.
We should, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask
a little bit. Let you
I'm going to ask the question, and then I'm going to step out. I'm going to go in the chat room right here. I'm going to sit here and listen to you guys talk about how you created Emergence 2028. So how did you do it?
Well, it was based on Fading Empires, and like I said, I knew I didn't have the budget to do Fading Empires, a filmic version of that. So I just said, okay, I'm going to set it closer to our timeline, the current timeline, and then just started writing the script based on. It's kind of like I call it dyshopium. So instead of dystopian, I call it HOPE, dystopian, because it's instead of just being all down and just constantly down and dour, it's more like a small group of people actually they weren't really trying to be crusaders or anything, but they just inadvertently stumbled across something and start to fall into that role of being good, good force, a force fighting for good, trying to help other people in this rather dark world. So I just call it dystopian because a lot of dystopian things seem to just be super dark, and it's kind of that trope. So I wanted to kind of take a different approach at it. So I wrote.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the dystopian stories are sort of like I guess they're sort of like the science fiction version of noir. It's like,
yeah, right.
And everybody has to be. It kills me. It's like, why when you do a noir, here's noir. You have to have a femme fatale. You have to have a double cross. It's like, why? Why do you always have to have those things? It's like, why can't you have a guy maybe get inside, get in a little bit too deep, realize what he's doing, and get his ass out of there? And and why is it for the effort? Why is it always like the guy out? The guy or the girl has to dive in, dive in into a bathtub from 10 feet high. It's like, well, because they're supposed to. They're supposed to. Who says?
Yeah. I think those guide rails are there, and that's okay for other filmmakers. And I think there are certain kind of basics about storytelling, but after a certain point, I don't want to replicate someone else's story. I want to do it in a different way. I want to do things in a different way. And so I want to make characters that are followable. Maybe you think they're heroic first and then they turn out to be cowardly or something, but I want to inject some of that something different into
it. We were talking about this yesterday too. There was another movie that came out this summer. It was based off of a game, but it's very dystopian. It's very cyberpunk, and that was Borderlands.
Oh yeah, right.
Man, now I see. I'll sit there and say right now, and I'll follow my sword on this, but I like that movie.
Yeah, this is bad people. Just marketed bad. I don't know.
I liked that movie. I thought Kevin Hart was outstanding. I really did. I thought he was great in the movie. But that movie did not have the typical prototypical cyberpunk ending. It had a more of a. I think they were trying to hopefully set up for a sequel, but still, at the time, it didn't really have that like doom and gloom to it, like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It had a potential to go forward. To be to carry it forward, and they took a chance, I thought, with that, and I personally thought it worked. I know gamers thought differently, but I don't play the game. I just looked what was on the screen, and so I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's see. V had a question for you. Let's see. It says, what advice have you received along your careers that you said I wish I knew this a little earlier, and what was it? That's a really good question. What's one thing about filmmaking that you picked up a little bit later that you wish you had known about a little bit before?
That's a hard one.
Well, I let's see. I guess I could say well, to be really honest, don't be too cocky at first about stuff.
Yeah.
I had a PA job and I went from like I went from my transcriber to like the driver to drop off tapes on this reality show, and I just whatever, and I just put it in. I just put in the mailbox that was like the half address instead of the regular. I don't know. The word's cocky, but just pay attention to what you're doing. Take it seriously, everything. Because I put the we just had to deliver tapes at the end of the day to producers. I put it in the half address instead of the regular one, and then they called me back and said that was like some big shot. They got it 2 days later. I'm fired. So I just, or I guess the rule is just be like take everything super seriously. You do something stupid like that, you get fired for. And then I couldn't get a job for like a year after that. So because that was like my first real job on a TV show. It took me like a year to get another job. It's just something so stupid like that. Just putting a tape in a mailbox. It took him a day later to get it because it went to his landlord, but he was like someone big at a channel. So, and this was like years ago, but so I just be very careful what you're doing when you're even these thing jobs that don't seem like they matter that much. I mean, if you're working for someone like that, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really received much advice at all from anybody, so I can't really. I received some advice from Eric Roberts. I had a chat with him, and he was just saying that try to just get along with people, and basically that's what that amounted to. But he said it in a different way. But
were you surprised to see how were you surprised to see how warm and giving he was, generous he was?
Yeah, I've heard he's had some conflicts with other people and stuff. That's bound to happen. But my experience with Eric, I could probably speak for Matt too, is he's been really down to earth and really lightened up the energy, or he made it kind of fun to be on set because he was, constantly cracking jokes and stuff, and just made it a festive atmosphere. And of course, he's a consummate pro, so and with a lot of wisdom. So he's a class act.
Man, it's sort of cool. It seems like every young actor or director I've chatted with on the show, and people in the chat can tell you, man, it seems like 75% of the directors that I've talked to have all worked with him. And the thing is,
he's really cool actor in Hollywood.
I think what really is really cool about it.
Knocks out the park.
Every director that's worked with him, or actor has done a scene with him, super excited afterwards. Like, I can't believe I get to do this with Eric Roberts, even though the guy has over 1,000 credits, but he's still able to generate that excitement. Yeah, and generate the people watching the film. He's still a bankable star. He's still
he is.
I mean, so that would be and Bai Ling. I mean, Bai is a sweetheart.
Well, just to go back to Eric, I was just recently, a matter of fact, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 days ago, I was on Reddit defending Eric because some couple naysayers here and there, and it sounded like people hadn't even worked with him. It's just, I think people tend to kind of bandwagon jump, and they don't really know what they're talking about sometimes. And I had one person who I could tell worked with him just said, "Oh, Eric's really great," but he said also Eric has just what you said. He has, when distributors see Eric, they know it's a movie that can get legs. In other words, he's a legitimizing force. And I of course stuck up for him too. I said we had nothing but good things to say about Eric. That's been my experience, but yeah, and then of course, Bai, segueing into her, she's another class act. Very.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's super sweet, and I was kind of. No, go ahead.
The first time she was on the show, and it's the first time I ever talked to her, and I just didn't know what to expect because I've seen her movies, and I've seen her movies that she's on. It's like, man, she's just like locked in, and and she's not anything when she acts. Like, you go back and rewatch her in The Crow, and you go back and watch her there, and see her today. It's her being Bai. You wouldn't know those two are the same people. It's like, that's her. She did that. She's awesome. She's super sweet. And that's gotta take the pressure off you to get who cast Bai? Was that through Eric and Paris, or was that through you, Matt? Did you cast her?
I'll just say something real quick. Bai was interesting because we have a friend, James Welch is in our movie. He's an awesome actor, and And yeah, a friend of his had talked to her, and at the time she was he's their movie in the beginning, Jim, and at the time she wasn't totally interested, and we were talking to her about a year during COVID, and then I came across as I'm in the PGA, we came across Patrick at an event, and Patrick and Paul we could talk about too after this, and they have a TV show. They're fashionistas and stuff, and anyways, they're friends of her, and yeah, after talking back and forth a little bit, yeah, she came in, she came in.
Yeah, and she
really
admitted that it was cool at the end of when we had this preview thing in August, is she was very she's not a person to give compliments easily. She's a very real person, and so we were just kind of blown away when she said, "Oh, I admire Ian and Matt's spirit, and they're really going for it and stuff." But she also said that I didn't really know in the beginning, because we were talking before, and then we didn't talk, but their persistence is what got her, is because we just kept, we were interested in her, and we just kind of we were patiently persistent. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
that makes sense.
We're overly aggressive, but we were kind of like, always kind of around. And then of course she liked the concept and everything. So yeah. we
she's so tailor-made for science fiction and cyberpunk and stuff. I mean, she really is. I mean, she's tailor-made for that. More than people realize. And it's like, man, when you see, when the first time I started a movie called The Breed, man, I was blown away with how damn good she was in that movie. I was sitting there like, she's the best part about this whole damn movie.
She is the best part of stuff. Yeah.
She looks like an anime. She looks like an anime character. Like, she looks like a cyberpunk anime. Yeah. So I was talking to her. I was talking about the comic book, and we're going to talk about doing because we were talking about this comic book and her being in it, but now her character is so big that I want a separate comic book for her, just for her character. But we were talking about, hey, I'm open to doing an anime in the future, Emergence anime, because she looks just like an anime cyberpunk character, right?
Yes.
Like with the katana and stuff, and she just looks like tailor-made.
Yeah.
A slightly older Go-Go from Kill Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
put her in that school or battle royale. Put her in that school suit.
The dress she has. Have you seen her dress for the film? Paul too, and he's designed. Anna Cole Smith. He designed her.
One question I do want to ask, because as far as the shooting of the film, and this is something that I'm curious about, is how do you keep your cast and crew during a long shoot, like this? Like, it's like it's been over 2 years. How do you keep the same department heads together for that movie? I mean, it's like, it's a long time. Do you and let's say you have someone running wardrobe and someone's doing makeup. It's really sort of unrealistic to hope that, or depend on, like Joe's here, he's our makeup guy, and then call him back in 2.5 years or 2 years and have Joe sitting there going like, I've been waiting for your phone call. And, a lot of these folks are really busy and they do other projects. Did you run across that problem when you were shooting Emergence? Did you lose any key people as far as crew, and how did you replace them?
You always say, well, I'll just say that. I would say that some people were replaced on the second part, and I'm sure some of the crew will be replaced on the third part if they won't be available. We're only going to shoot for a few days to complete this.
Yeah, we know people's schedules are kind of busy, and then people are doing different projects. Crew members. So that's fine. We just we have some that have stayed, and then we hire new ones. We try to keep as many people as we can on the team. But like you said, schedules sometimes don't make it happen.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you hope that you can keep them, but at the same time, you're also hoping that maybe they can't do it because that means they're working, which is always something you want, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me scroll back here. Let's see. And see. See. Jesus says.
I will say that we have Mitch Parks, who we which is kind of a funny story because I put an ad out for finishing funds at first because this is a couple years ago, and then so happens that Mitch responds to the ad and he says, "Hey, what's this project about?" Because he just thought it sounded interesting, and so Mitch Parks has done a lot of stuff. He worked for big studios and stuff, but he has since become indie. Like he wants to do his own thing. Really accomplished guy, real smart guy, really helpful. So Mitch, we said, okay, what do you say? So Mitch is a DP. He also does his own films, the director too. But we needed a DP, and so Mitch came on board, and he was just so friendly right off the bat. He was like, "Hey, why don't you guys?" He has a southern accent. So "Why don't you guys come over to my office? In Hollywood?" And I was like, "Really? Okay." So we've just so definitely Mitch has been somebody who's been a steady collaborator. And,
I'm sure you see some of his films, Patrick. Rad City Films. I think he knows Mike Ferguson. Yeah. He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So we
he knows Mike Ferguson.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mikey's awesome. He's like a brother from another mother.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
We've gone along with Mike and I'm sorry, with Mitch, and Mitch knows Paris. They've worked together as well. Like they're friends.
I think Paris knows everybody.
Yeah, Paris knows everybody.
Paris knows everybody.
Yeah.
So it's all these guys, like I said.
Whole world, really. Yeah.
In the beginning, we just knew a few people here and there, and then the world kind of shrank, because we get these people that are kind of like-minded, and then we just kind of coalesce, and that's the way it's been. We've been fortunate to have kindred spirits, that are helpful, and we want to take everybody who's helped us. We want to take them along with us. That's I'm a loyal person, so that's what I try to do.
Now, let me ask. That's the same question I'll ask you. Let me put that question to you, Matt. I mean, you're an executive producer.
Let me kind of correct that. Actually, now I'm actually, just to make things clear, I'm producer, so Ian's executive producer. But I'm involved every day, of course.
So my question to you was, what did you do to keep busy during the shoot? I mean, is that when you worked on the Bay, when in between?
My work life is kind of funny because I'm a freelance producer, editor in general. I mean, I'm a freelance producer on this. Really, I'm a freelance, so I just do different things. I do different things. I was editor for the Bay, and although I'm phasing out of the Bay right now anyway, so I'm doing different things, like different things in the meantime. But but lately this has taken up a lot of my life right now because we're really geared up for the shoot right now. So and I mean, you can look me up. I do other stuff. There's like a mob show I edit and stuff. There's different.
What are some of the mistakes that young producers make when they come onto a first time feature film? What are some of the things you would, if I came up to you and said, I want to be a producer on this movie, what do you look for? What makes a good producer in your opinion?
I think number one, I think both me and Ian are learning about raising money is really, really hard. Even if you think it's going to be, even if it makes sense, it's hard. And then you realize what people want if they do give you money. And a lot of people want to wait till it's done to even there's things like that, right? Yes,
let's just face it. I mean, before, crowdsourcing was, like Indiegogo was like, okay, once in a while you'll see someone put an Indiegogo. But I think since after COVID, I think in the Indiegogo and the crowdsourcing, that is the new wave. That is the new way of making movies. If you want your movie to be made, you have to be able to use social media to your advantage.
Yeah, but then the crowdsourcing, they tell you, okay, you got to do this many stories a day. You got to do AMAs. You got to do this. It's like, okay, you have to hire a whole social media manager. I just mentioned somebody a while ago. You get to have like certain people like putting your stuff out there strategically, all this nonsense. Like me and it pretty real. We just want this to be a good, awesome product, creative product. All right, we're not trying to like boost any SEO rankings or whatever. We're just right, Ian. This is a real project here.
Well, I do. We do want there to be. We do want, marketing is a huge part of a project, but what Matt is, I think, saying is that you have to have a great story first, and you have to have a great project and product for those who are interested.
You definitely got to have the press now. I mean, that's it's sort of funny. It's sort of funny since I started doing this. I came from a live music background, so I already had appreciation for what the press can do. But once I started doing this and seeing exactly, before it'd be like, who cares, But now every time you get a chance to do press, you want to do it. You want to get that name out there any way you can, because that means your name will actually hit the search engines a little bit more. And you do want that recognition. And it will help you now, and it'll help you in the future. Even though do you like crowdsourcing, or do you find it a major distraction in the filmmaking process?
I think it's a good thing. We just didn't really. I didn't really know how to do it at first, and it, just like any success story or anybody who succeeded in life, they stumble and they fall, right? Then they get back down, and they get back up, and then they try it again. So as long as you don't stay down, you keep getting up, and you start learning. Okay, maybe I didn't do that right. You learn something else from somebody else. So Matt and I always listening to people, useful input, and we learn, and we don't stay down. We just keep coming at it. So I think crowdsourcing, to answer your question, is a good thing. We're starting to learn more about how to go about it, like building the buzz, building your audience, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So by the next time we do it, we're going to be much more prepared.
Maybe after the movie's done, maybe we're thinking after the movie's done, maybe they'll have more things to put out and stuff.
Sure.
But also, we want to say thank you. I mean, thank you for letting us come on your show and everything. We heard about you for Spider. We want to start up doing podcasts, of course, and we do want to put out a press release, big press release to announce things. The big press release to go out. Go ahead, second.
Yeah,
sure. There's definitely plenty of places to put it, and you don't have to bust your balls doing it either. I mean, there's a lot of social media. There's a lot of free places you could advertise your poster or what have you. Without busting a budget. I mean, people say that it costs a lot of money to advertise. They're just not doing it right. I think advertising has probably been honest to hell. I think it's probably been the most accessible part of filmmaking, other than the digital camera, because everybody can do it. I mean, you do 10 of these, and maybe they don't have the biggest audience, but you're not really doing it for the audience tonight. You're just doing it to place it on the search engine. So when someone types up Emergence 2028, they got the whole page full. You have plenty of people to go watch it and then read about it. I do think Ian's put up an amazing with help from the web designers. I mean, definitely know how to market. Like we have like there's T-shirts for Emergence, there's mugs, there's lots of stuff already you can buy from Emergence. The site looks amazing.
We're going to be diving more into marketing over the next probably 8 weeks, really much more hardcore. And then, of course, after we shoot the rest of the film. So, marketing is really a crucial part, I think, because also in the literary world, like in the book world, indie publishing, I've talked to numerous pros who are marketers, and they say that the number one thing that authors fail to recognize is, like, they might have a great book or something, but they get to that final stage and then they just don't market it. They don't know the
No,
importance of marketing.
I'll be honest with you, and I have friends I've interviewed on here that are I enjoy them talking to them. I've had some well-known writers, but they're right. Writers are horrible when it comes down to promotion. They and it's really, think about it. You think about how is that true? They do all these book tours and whatnot. They do. They let them do that, but not enough.
And would you say that? And Patrick, would you say that that's kind of there's a correlation between that and indie filmmakers too?
No, indie filmmakers are really no.
They're
Indie filmmakers are they're a lot more. See, writers are by nature. Writers are solitary.
Yeah, that's true.
They work by themselves. They don't work with any. They don't work with a team or departments or anything else. They work by themselves, and a lot of their work is just it's there. They write it. They send it onto the manuscript onto the editor, and it's that's it.
I could say being a producer on it. I'm being a producer on the Bay also. We'll say it's about Gregory on the Bay. He's a very good marketer, and he would have parties. And Ian's been to some of these way back. We used to go off and on. Gregory would have parties at his house and have people come there. And he would remind people about the Bay. He would, I witnessed all this stuff. So thanks, Gregory. I borrowed some of these networking tips from you. I mean, that's what you got to do. You really got to do stuff like this.
Oh yeah, you got
a huge marketing thing about the Bay. That's why you know about the Bay. It's a good show too, but that's what you know. That's
great. When I looked up there and I saw your background, I'm going like, man, this guy has a hell of a background. I remember the Bay. I remember hearing about it, and then I remember going, there's I remember because there are a lot of people talking about it, a lot of the That's awesome. And that shows should sell itself easily. Is this still? It's still in production, isn't it?
Yeah. Some production. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was still going. I just didn't know where.
I think they're not filming right now, but yeah. So
I didn't know where it was being. It's got to be being streamed somewhere. But
Tubi, it's on Tubi right now. It's on Tubi.
Oh, really? Okay. I'll have to catch up.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot of people in the cast. I'm like, I know these.
Yeah, you
people.
can watch Anthony's on there. Paris. At least. So yeah.
So what's next? So right now, and we'll go ahead and start thinking about wrapping this up. So right now, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go back and finish shooting, and then Matt, you're going to jump in there and help edit it. I'll probably produce with this. I'd be on set too. I'm gonna be on set. Ian will be directing. And then he will be go ahead and. Now, we
talk about the look of the movie too, real quick. The look of the movie. Yeah.
Where did you film it at? I mean, was it shot on location, or did you use warehouse? Did you shoot on the outside?
We shot at Alhambra.
Place was in Alhambra, and we happened to find a warehouse that was. It had like 90s technology in it. It was just really eerie how it matched up. Yeah. And so it had the whole retro futuristic thing going on. And then that was 2 years ago. And then we got another place, which is down in the Arts District, a big warehouse bar thing. So we filmed there last time. We got these pretty cool spots that match and one of the kind of things is we have this style where it's kind of boosted colors. So you'll see a lot of boosted colors. It's very stylish, while also being substantive as well. But yeah, we have this certain kind of edgy look that if you watch it, you'll see it's kind of a trademark thing we have, and we're gonna continue with.
Yeah, then we plan. We're gonna have the martial arts scenes coming up coming up soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big action piece, which is going to be. We're shooting in the mid-May to wrap everything up, and we're gonna have a big action sequence there. So we've even got some horror elements.
Yeah, we can talk about that. We have horror elements.
So we've got a lot of cool stuff happening in the last part.
But you'll be marketed more as cyberpunk, sci-fi, which is sort of smart because there's not that much out there. I mean, really think about it. There's not too. I mean, there's some out there, but not really.
There's only big
horror everywhere. Horror is almost oversaturated.
Oh yeah, agree.
But sci-fi, good sci-fi, good cyberpunk, good dystopians.
Yeah,
not that much. There's not that many out there. I mean, not good quality efforts. I mean, there's some that I've seen some that just weren't that good, and but no, I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to Emergence 2028.
Emergence 2030 after that.
Strong cast. I don't think it'll be it won't be a problem. It won't be a problem for you to get a distributing deal. You'll probably be able to land on Amazon or what have you. I mean,
and I don't know if you want to announce it now, but we'll give you exclusive right now. We just got Sean Rogers. He was in the Flash movie as one of the guys in the parallel world, Gary. We have him in the movie now. So we have official comic franchise person actor in our movie. So that's cool.
Yeah, Sean is pretty good guy.
Now, was he in the Flash the TV series or the Flash?
The latest movie.
Ezra Miller. Yeah.
He was in the Ezra Miller one. Yeah. He has a scene with Ezra. He talks to him when he shows up in the parallel world. I don't know if you remember. You've seen it, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
Like the big guy on the couch, the big guy, like the guy on the couch and stuff.
Blonde guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So okay. He's a real cool dude.
He's a cool dude. He's great.
He digs the idea. He's excited about it as well. Mm-hmm. Sees the potential. And so we're welcome. We're going to have him in this as this kind of
he doesn't use super indie kind of like us. So he's like, this is just great. So he does.
Yeah.
So you'll be looking for this. You'll be looking for Emergence to come out in the fall time, right? Like September, October.
At the latest, yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely will have you come back and come out and hang out with us for sure. Maybe we'll get Paris to come on and hang out, and we'll see whoever else we can get out. Or if it's just you two, we'll be happy to do that as well.
Eric too. We'll see. Yeah.
We'll have somebody. We'll drag somebody else on.
We'll drag somebody. We'll see. Eric, we'll see.
Now that we've tested the water sufficiently. No.
It's not that Eric Roberts doesn't do press. It's not like he doesn't. It's not like he doesn't like to do press. He's just too damn busy.
Yeah. Well, he did a video for us. He did one for us.
Yeah.
So
So Eliza, handles a lot of his stuff. His beautiful wife, she's a super nice lady, and so we're doing the underdogs thing, and we were wondering if Eric. So Paris arranged it and said, hey, yeah, So Eric came on and said some things about the film and everything, the Emergence and everything, and he was just so hey, what do you guys, want me to do? It was just so collaborative.
He said special here. He said we have something special here. Yeah. So.
Yeah. He said we have something real special. So it's great to have people who are really established folks where you get that recognition as kind of just people coming out of nowhere, and they really inspire us. They're a large part of Bai Ling too. Totally, she said our sets are similar to big Hollywood sets or sets in Hong Kong. She said, your sets are so professional and well run, and coming from someone like that, it's we were just speechless, So these people are really these legends like that are really inspiring us.
They don't get that praise out or easy, They don't say that to they don't say that just to everybody.
Right. So
you guys are doing something right. Dream Flight Entertainment will be the studio that will be putting out Emergence 2028. And I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank you, Matt. Thank you for contacting me, and Ian. It's been a pleasant experience talking to you both. I cannot wait to see the film. I'm very excited for you both. I think it's going to be a big step forward. And maybe next time we talk, we'll be talking about you guys breaking out. And who's to say? And hard work and a little elbow grease. The sky's the limit. I want to thank the chat for hanging out with us, especially God. God hanging out with us today. I appreciate that. Brene, thank you for coming by. I've not seen you nearly enough, young lady. And I want to thank everybody else who came out to the show. There will not be a show tomorrow night. Normally we are on 3 days a week, but we're not doing the show tomorrow night. The midnight hour is having us 200 show, and we cleared the decks so we wouldn't conflict with that. And so, but we will be back here. We'll be back here on. Actually, I will be on the road on Friday. I'll be on the road on Friday. I'll be hanging out with our good friend Katie from Popping the Popcorn and Kyle Curtis Flett, and I'll be hanging out on his channel. I'm not sure what we're talking about. And then Kyle will be actually coming back over here for Clash of the Titans. That's right. Clash of the Titans is a series where we each take a movie that we absolutely love, and the other person brings the movie they absolutely love. But why do we love our movie a little bit more than theirs? And it's going to be a hell of a battle. Kyle picked Superman 78 to talk about. That happens to be my very favorite movie of all time. He picked it out. So I had to pick out a movie that I felt could hold its own, which is not easy to do, but I think I got one. And Superman Returns. Love Superman Returns. I think it's an amazing movie myself. Underrated. As far as 8 Questions With, we will be back next week. On Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the 11th, we'll be welcoming back actress Kelly Goody Price from Great Britain, and then on the 12th, we will be talking with Will Soto from the Red Tree House, and he is a storyteller, and he will be here, and we'll be talking. And he has a podcast, and he'll be here talking about. We'll be talking about ghost stories, urban legends, and my favorite cryptids. That's right. And he'll be here on the 12th, and look forward to seeing you guys. Look forward to seeing some of you guys come up and check out that show. You two guys stay right where you're at. I'm going to say goodnight to my guests, or to my to my chat. Thank you again so much, and we will talk. We'll see you on Friday. Peace.
Thanks, guys. All right. Yeah. Appreciate the